The best in regional sports from Southeast Michigan. WLEN Adrian, HD2, W243AD, 96.5 The Cave.
96.5 The Cave. Lenawee County Sports. Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. This is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports talk radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass, because it's time to go inside the cave.
And a happy Labor Day to everyone out there. Pat Hayes along with John Roberts this morning inside the cave. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Pat. Good morning.
Should be a great day to talk about sports. We had a lot going on over the weekend.
Always busy on the weekends, it seems like.
Boy, oh boy. And, of course, we had a little thunder bumper last night. Kind of woke me up.
It's quite a light show there for a little while.
So it looks like most of it's past us, and hopefully we will have a clear day today, and we can do some things outside.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, let's get right to it here as we will get the right mouse here to get over here. And
too many
now
mice.
For an Inside the Cave sports update.
All right, time for our sports update. Here we go. Looks like spring football will be happening for the Siena Heights Saints. 96.5 Sports' Steve Barkway talked with head coach Matt Cohn about the challenges that it is about to present.
You know, spring in Michigan is actually winter, so we're going to have a little winter / maybe a little spring. Right now, our first game of that spring schedule is set to take place the last weekend in February. So not exactly spring weather in Michigan, if you know what I mean, Steve.
Well, now you'll be able to see what the baseball coaches are always complaining about.
Absolutely. You know, there's going to be a lot of moving parts. Certainly, operating a lot of sports at that time will be challenging, but I just can't say enough about our leadership here at Siena, our athletic director, our president, our dean for students. We've all worked extremely hard since we've been on quarantine to make this campus very safe for everybody, and there's plans on top of plans. So we'll be ready to go just as soon as we're able to.
All right, that's head football coach Matt Cohn, and sounds like he's pretty excited about getting the season started.
Well, he better dress warm. But, yes, I think they'll just be ready to play come February.
All right. A little local story here out of Toledo area. Boxer DeAndre Ware is being called a real hero after using his EMS training to revive an employee who collapsed at a weigh-in before a weekend fight in Las Vegas. Top Rank says Ware was undergoing his own medical checks Friday night when he helped assist the on-site doctors attend to a longtime Top Rank coordinator who collapsed. Ware, who was also a Toledo firefighter, said he was happy to say the guy was talking a bit and was alert and headed to the hospital. Top Rank spokesman Evan Korn said that in the Toledo Blade, that in an email, that Ware is a real hero today, and all of Top Rank owes him a debt of gratitude. So congratulations.
Yeah, definitely in the right place at the right time.
Always a scary time there for something like that to happen. How about them Tigers?
Back in the winning column.
That's right. Grayson Greiner hit a tie-breaking homer in the eighth inning off left-handed pitcher Eddie Rosario's glove into Detroit. Tiger rocked the Minnesota bullpen for 8 runs to beat the Twins 10-8. Detroit erased a 4-run deficit by Minnesota's relievers in the late innings. The Tigers snapped a streak of 5 straight losses to the Twins. Tiger reliever Kyle Funkhauser earned his first career win, and while Brian Garcia pitched scoreless ninth inning for his first big league save. So congratulations, Tigers. And Mr. Mize didn't
Didn't
go
quite
all the way.
No, not quite enough to earn the victory. Pitched okay at times, but not quite enough to earn his first. It would have been his first major league win, I believe. I don't think he has one yet.
No, he doesn't. One of the things that I was looking at the stats for the game, every Detroit player got a hit.
Yes, including one who got a home run in his first major league at bat.
Isn't that something?
Alcantara.
Yes. Yeah, first at bat, that's got to be
Second pitch he's ever seen in the major leagues. Hit it over the left field wall. So
came at a great time, too.
yes, it did.
So the Tigers, let's hope they can keep the winning ways going. They'll play again this afternoon at 2:10 on Fox Sports Detroit. And might as well take a look at the other scores in Major League Baseball. The Yankees defeated by Baltimore 5-1. It was the Indians over the Brewers 4-1. Washington Nationals got bombed by the Atlanta Braves 10-3. It was the Mets over the Phillies 14-1. In 10 innings, it was the Tampa Bay Rays 5, Miami Marlins 4. The Blue Jays over the Red Sox 10-8. Pirates over the Reds 3-2. The White Sox over the Kansas City Royals 8-2. The Diamondbacks lost to the Giants 4-2. The Angels over the Astros 9-5. It was the Padres 5, Oakland 3. Texas just lost out to Seattle 4-3. St. Louis over the Cubs 7-3, and the Colorado Rockies defeated the LA Dodgers 7-6.
Some high-scoring games in there.
There is some high-scoring games for sure. And while we're at it, why don't we just take a look at some of the other scores? Of course, in the National Hockey League, first game of the series between the Stars and the Golden Knights, and the Stars took it 1-0. So they lead the series 1-0.
Yep, first game of the Western Conference Finals, and so now the Stars are up 1-0.
All right, in the NBA action, in overtime, it was the Milwaukee Bucks over the Miami Heat, 118-115. And the LA Lakers defeated the Rockets, 117-109. That series is tied. And that other series between Milwaukee and the Heat lead that one 3-1. So it looks like the Heat might move on.
They might, especially with Giannis injured ankle in last night's game and was unable to finish. So we'll see if he plays in Game 5.
All right. And looking a little bit further here, Adrian Peterson now is a Detroit Lion. How do you think that's going to go?
Well, I think it's a good signing. As long as he stays healthy, I think he can be productive for the Lions.
Absolutely. And he agreed to a 1-year contract with the Lions, according to a person with knowledge of the deal. The 35-year-old Peterson was released by Washington on Friday after spending the past 2 seasons there. He has rushed for 14,216 yards in 13 seasons, mostly with, of course, the Minnesota Vikings. And after the signing, some comments by ESPN that it was a 1-year, $100.05 million deal. The person said that the timing of Peterson's release stopped him from reuniting with Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians, but he gets a chance to return to the NFC North, where he's created all kinds of havoc over the years.
Yes.
For sure.
Glad he's not wearing the purple of the Vikings anymore.
All right, in NASCAR, Kevin Harvick has opened NASCAR's playoffs by earning his circuit-leading 8th win overall this season with at Darlington this past weekend. Harvick had a bit of luck on this one. Martin Truex Jr. led for race-high 196 laps until he bumped Chase Elliott, causing them to brush away. Truex had to pit for repairs, putting Harvick in control of the race for the final 14 laps. Austin Dillon finished second, followed by Joey Logano, Eric Jones, and William Byron. Seems like that happens every race.
Every weekend.
Somebody leads for 100 and some laps and pulls a bonehead move and
or somebody around them pulls a bonehead move.
That's more like it, I guess. Darlington's a tough track
yes, it is.
to tame anyway. Well, we also have here Anton Khudobin and the Dallas Stars have taken Game 1, as I said before, of the NHL Western Conference Finals. In stifling fashion, the Stars allowed just 25 shots on goal to allow Khudobin to get the first career playoff shutout, 1-0 win over the top-seeded Vegas Golden Knights. Neither team scored after John Klingberg beat Marc-Andre Fleury at 2:36 into the contest. That was enough offense for Dallas to get within 3 wins of their first Stanley Cup final appearance in 20 years. Fleury stopped 24 shots for the Knights, who will try again to even the series at Game 2 on Tuesday. And, of course, we lost a great, all-time great in baseball, as Lou Brock has died at the age of 81. His longtime agent and friend confirmed Brock's death on Sunday, but he said he couldn't provide any details. Brock became a Cardinal in one of the most lopsided trades in Major League history. He went on to win 2 World Series and 3 National League pennants with St. Louis. Brock stole 938, count them, 938 bases in his career, including 118 in 1974. Both were records later broken by Rickey Henderson. Brock had over 3,000 hits while compiling a .293 average over 19 seasons. Wow, that's great. He lost a leg with diabetes in recent years and was diagnosed with cancer in 2017. So all-time great there, Lou Brock. Remember watching him on TV.
As every Tiger fan knows, they're glad he didn't slide into home plate in Game 5 of the 1968 World Series. It might have changed the series.
That's exactly right. Dustin Johnson matched the low round at the Tour Championship with a 6-under par 64 that puts him 1 round away from capturing the FedEx Cup and its $15 million prize. Johnson missed only 3 fairways and putted for birdie on all but 3 holes, just like your game, John.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It led to a 5-shot lead over Justin Thomas and Xander Schauffele. Going into the Labor Day finish today at East Lake, Johnson was at 19 under par, his 4th consecutive event holding at least a share of the 54-hole lead. Wow, that's just amazing.
He's playing some good golf right now.
Playing some great golf. And let's see here. We've got to do this and do this. And it was quite a day at the U.S. Open title. A fit of anger has cost Novak Djokovic a chance to win his 4th U.S. title. ABC's Joey Waller reports further on this story.
Spring in Michigan is actually...
Oops, we didn't get that taken care of. Let's go this way. And
Novak Djokovic says he's, quote, really sad and empty, unquote, apologizing after being disqualified from the U.S. Open. The world's number 1 down 6-5 for a set, then in frustration swatting a ball, accidentally hitting and hurting a female line judge. Officials making opponent Pablo Carreño boost to the winner.
I was in shock. I never expected this moment playing against Novak, so it was a tough moment also to me.
Busta on to the 4th round. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
I don't know if you had a chance to see what happened there.
I did. He was upset at, a point, his play. I think just a frustrating point in the match, and he kind of hit a ball back behind him, as players often do, or off to the side, and it caught the judge right in the neck. Yeah, and she went down and was down for quite a while. And I guess it isn't a rule that if, it's probably a lot like in baseball. If you make contact with an umpire, it's an ejection.
Yeah.
And
automatic.
Yeah. And so
I just wonder how fast that ball was going because it looked like it got there in a hurry.
Well, it wasn't going slow. I mean, it was slow enough, and if you've ever been hit in the neck or the throat with an object,
Adam's apple there.
I mean, you do hear of people. It could kill you. I mean, if you
sure.
do some damage to their throat and they can't breathe, or you've heard of people that get hit in the carotid artery and it does something, and now the blood doesn't go to your brain, and it could have been much more serious than what it was. And so I guess he's fortunate that all that happened is she was knocked down.
Yeah. Well, unfortunate anyway.
Yes.
All right, much of the offseason chatter surrounding college football transfers inevitably focus on quarterbacks. But plenty of notable players at other positions also switched teams and could make major impact for their schools this fall. Miami may offer the clearest example of this. The Hurricanes are counting on Houston graduate transfer quarterback Derek King to boost the offense, and Temple graduates transfer Quincy Roche to lift the defense. The list of non-quarterback transfers who could make an impact this season also includes LSU linebacker Jabril Cox as he makes the transition from football championship subdivision power North Dakota State.
Lots of movement in college football.
Lots. That portal is probably pretty busy these days.
And I think it's going to stay that way.
Yep. Tom Jurstad, a member of the Naismith Hall of Fame for his contributions to college basketball and the NCAA tournament, has died. He was 75. The NCAA said Jurstad died this weekend. Nicknamed Father of the Final Four, Jurstad has been widely credited with transforming the NCAA tournament into a billion-dollar March Madness it has become today. A former backup quarterback, Jurstad worked his first Final Four in 1973 and helped push the growth of the NCAA tournament from 25 teams to 68. Anything can happen. Bonus held every spring. Well, it's too bad.
Yes. Reading a lot about him. Very well respected in the college basketball scene.
Well, that brings you up to date on our sports headlines. Of course, sports is happening every minute of every day. If you'd like to talk sports with us, give us a call on the studio line. 517-265-4000 is the number to call. So, John, where do we want to go from here?
Well,
any comments about any of these stories?
Well, wouldn't mind talking a little Tigers, Pat, after a big 10-8 win. As we mentioned in the update, a lot of firsts. Funkhauser gets his first win. Garcia the first save, and Sergio Alcantara with his first major league hit, which was a solo home run to left field. So
that's always great to see.
Yeah. Something obviously he'll remember for a long, long time.
I almost, to tell you the truth, I almost turned off the game. I was getting upset. They had the lead, and then they gave it away, and then Minnesota started piling on, but I did turn it back on after they came back, and I think they were one run down.
Yeah, it got to. I turned it away to watch a little bit of the golf tournament. And when I came back, all of a sudden it was 6-5. They were only trailing by a run, and they kind of kept going and just kept scoring. And it held on to win 10-8, and it was a good win for them. Down 6-2 after leading the game early, and I think it just shows, like a lot of people have said, this is a team that is competitive and plays the whole game and is not going to give away outs, and they're going to compete till the end of the game.
And I guess you'd have to classify this game a battle of the bullpens.
Yeah, definitely. If you watch Saturday night's game, the Tigers definitely lost the battle of the bullpen.
Yeah, big time.
And but yeah, the bullpen did really well. As we said, Funkhauser got his first win. Buck Farmer came in and did a nice job in the 8th inning. And then Garcia came in and kind of shut the door in the 9th. So good job again by the Tigers bullpen.
And Alcantara never played above Double-A prior to the big league debut at Target Field. So what a great feeling that must have been after he put that ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, you could see the smiles as he was heading into the dugout if you were watching the game yesterday. And so, a lot of happiness from his teammates for him. Certainly he's, thrilled. You really couldn't ask for a much better way to start your major league career than a home run.
Well, of course, Mize gave up 3 runs, 5 hits, a couple of walks in 4 innings of play, and so he as you said, he was decent, but control I think got away from him there toward the end.
Yeah, when you start putting guys on base for free and don't make them earn it, a lot of times that comes back to hurt you, and it certainly did with Casey Mize yesterday. I don't think anybody that watches him or has watched baseball doesn't think he has the stuff to be a major league pitcher. And that first win's going to come just like it did for Tariq Skubal the other night. Got his first major league win. And I think if those two can continue to grow and develop, they can, become a nice 1-2 duo at the top of the Tigers rotation.
A little concerned, Ron Gardenhire missed the game. I guess a stomach flu. You kind of wondered, hey, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Hope it's not COVID. I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
But
let's hope not.
McClendon took over for him. Did a great job running the bench.
Yeah, kept the guys playing, as we said, and competing. And, they give you 9 innings for a reason, and the Tigers played all 9 innings hard, and it paid off for them yesterday.
Well, Michael Fulmer will take the mound this afternoon against the Twins. This is the last game of a 4-game series, and it's it's a 5-game series.
5-game series, yep.
So Tigers 3-1 down in this one.
Yeah, they need to get this one to they can't win this series, but they can make it a lot closer.
Now, this is Fulmer's 7th outing of the year, and still working his way back from Tommy John surgery, and be interesting to see how he does. 7.27 earned run average, not the greatest, but
no, but it has been coming down, so that's a good sign. And they tend to bring Daniel Norris in when he pitches after a few innings, and the two of them have formed a pretty good combination the last few outings. Yeah. So hopefully that can continue.
They'll be going up against right-hand pitcher Michael Pineda, who is yet to win a ball game this season. He's got a 3.0 earned run average, so he's no slouch.
Doesn't give up a lot of runs, but he hasn't won any games yet.
That's
so
right.
We'll see where that goes.
All right, so Tigers on this afternoon, 2:10. Fox Sports. I don't know if you watched the game. Well, you obviously did watch part of it. Gibby made a big deal about Jimenez in his comments.
I saw that from the night before, and
one of the Minnesota Twins took offense to some of the things he was doing on the mound and thought he was aiming him toward him.
Right, and so. Which, that happens, I think, in baseball. And sometimes guys are spot on about how they feel about something, and sometimes they're, misunderstandings. And so it'll either work itself out or it won't between the two players. And there'll always be that little bit of animosity. So we'll see.
All right, hey, we got to take a break here. It's 24 after the hour. You are inside the cave this morning. John Roberts and Pat Hayes with you.
I'm Stan the Man, I am, and I have to say it feels quite warm outside today. But summer thunderstorms are now the norm, and older roofs can spring leaks. Pesky roof leaks can creep and seep and make your walls and ceilings weep. Flat roofs are steep. The cats in the blue hats at Diversified Roofing can fix that straight away. Call 1-800-668-1928 today and we'll make those leaks all go away. With Diversified's fair rates, rebates, and financing that's great, that's 1-800-668-1928. You won't get taken for a ride when you call Diversified. We're Master Elite certified and GAF roofing that's tried and true. We're state licensed and fully insured too. Your roof's installed professionally with honesty and pride when you call Diversified at 1-800-668-1928. Here's our website too for you. For Stan the Man and the cats in the blue hats, that's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com. Again, that's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com.
It's summertime. It's hot, dusty, and dirty, and your car needs to be washed. Where do you go? Imagine a crystal palace with a runway where your car glides through a series of steps and your pride and joy is blown dry by angel wings. Okay, maybe that's a bit too much, but Sudsy Does a Car Wash does bless your vehicle with the highest quality of solutions and equipment to lift your car to a higher level of clean. We know you want your car to look great, so try Sudsy Does a Car Wash in Tecumseh.
Sudsy Does a Car Wash, Gary's Quick Lube too.
It's time to head back to school. Whether it's homeroom or homeschool, DMP will be there to make sure you can access what you need to keep pushing forward. Right now, get 250 meg internet and DMP Connect Pro, the most powerful whole home Wi-Fi ever for just $59.90 a month. Give us a call at 800-311-7340. That's 800-311-7340. Because at DMP, no matter what the future holds, we're here to power your tomorrow.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor, and it's easier than ever to tap into the convenience of smart home technology during the Hunter Douglas Smart Shade Savings Event that's going on now through September 7th. Enjoy valuable rebates starting at $150 on qualifying purchases of Hunter Douglas motorized shades like insulating duet honeycomb shades or dramatic pirouette window shades or the revolutionary Sonnet cellular roller shades, all equipped with the advanced wireless technology of PowerView motorization. Using this smart technology, the associated smart hub, and the mobile devices you use every day, you can easily program your motorized shades to move automatically to the scenes and schedules you set. Plus, PowerView integrates easily with some of the most popular home automation systems, intelligent shades, and smart savings. Connect with rebates now through September 7th. Limitations and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
We can find you the next pre-owned vehicle you're looking for right here. Hi, I'm Ricardo Velasquez with Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton. With so many vehicles available through the Suburban collection, if you don't see the right vehicle for you on our lot in Clinton, we have access to hundreds more. Suburban also offers many financing options to help fit your budget. Come on in and find your next new or pre-owned vehicle right here on the corner of M52 and US 12. Make the choice at the home of the lifetime warranty, Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton.
Concerned about what's in your food for your reptiles or fish? At Red Mill Pet Supplies, we research where our food comes from, so you don't have to. Our large, healthy adult crickets are always brought in from a good source and are stored in a clean environment. We also stock regular and giant-sized mealworms. For your small animals, fish, reptiles, and birds, all your pets need for a healthier, happier life can be found at 1111 West Chicago Boulevard, across from McDonald's in Tecumseh, and on Facebook at Red Mill Pet Supplies.
ProMed Uniform is celebrating 25 years of business. ProMed Uniform's commitment to Lenawee County's healthcare, EMS, police, and fire personnel has always been a top priority. On sale now, in stock 511 tactical pants 10% off. ProMed has an extensive inventory of medical scrubs, Barco, Grey's Anatomy, and Wonder Wing all in stock. All scrubs are currently 20% off their already low prices. ProMed Uniform will match or beat any competitor's price, including websites or catalogs. Medical, fire, EMS, and restaurant attire. Check them out on Facebook and at 937 West Beecher in Adrian.
And, of course, it was the Kentucky Derby this past Saturday as Run for the Roses, and we had a little competition around the radio station.
We did, and you did quite well. I, on the other hand, I kept picking horses that scratched or
two of them.
Two of them. I couldn't win for losing there.
Well,
my guys didn't even get a chance to run.
Well, you finally got a horse, and it was Storm the Court.
Yeah,
was your horse?
Was it in it for a little while, but down the back stretch kind of faded. Ended up finishing 6th or 7th, I think, overall. But
and then Jeff Bowman, he picked Major Fed.
Yeah, that was a back in the pack finish.
That was a back in the pack, and of course I had the winner, Authentic.
You did.
Who paid $18.80, $6 and $5.
Yeah, it's a good day if you bet on Authentic.
That's right. Tis the Law, the favorite, finished second.
Yeah.
Paying $3.40 and $3.20.
Had the lead for a while.
Yes.
Kind of faded down the stretch.
Yeah. Authentic almost wire to wire, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was up, certainly up in the front for most of the race.
Mr. Big News was third, paying $16.80. Kind of a long shot there.
Yeah, that's a good show bet right there.
That's a very good show.
$16.80.
Anyway, that's what happened at Churchill Downs, the 146th running of the race. And, of course, this is the first time in 75 years they had to move the race to this past weekend, of course, because of COVID-19. They had 18 horses that were scheduled to run, but I think they only ended up with 15 or 16.
15, yeah. So, I think one of the things that maybe spooked a lot of people on betting on those favorites is all three of the favorites were all the way to the outside in the gates 16, 17, and 18. And when the horses kind of scratched their last minute or had to drop out, it moved them in just that much closer, and I don't think the distance impacted them quite as much. And two of those horses finished in the money.
Well, leading up to the race, there had never been a horse starting in the 17th pole position, or the 17th position in the stanchion there. But anyway, but of course, as you said, they were pushed down a little bit closer to.
And you could just see at the start the angle that they went out fast and were able to angle their way.
They all came out
into the front of the pack, and it was a quick start, and just they're quicker horses, so they were able to get themselves to the inside, or at least part of the way to the inside, where it's not quite as far, it seems, to run around that track.
Of course, it was a Bob Baffert horse.
Yeah.
This was his 6th Derby win. Isn't that amazing?
And I can't remember, Pat, and maybe you read this. Does that tie him for the most, or does that give him the most wins as a trainer? I can't remember. I thought it was one or the other.
I think it's a tie.
Yeah.
I think there's someone else that's won. Of course, Johnny Velasquez, the jockey on the horse Authentic, did another great job, and it was a race to the finish there between Authentic and Tis the Law. And Tis the Law just couldn't get it into overdrive to overtake Authentic. And just a great race.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they ran it because there was a lot of protesting going on.
There was outside,
back in May.
That
they didn't want them to run the race, but they eventually decided, yes, we are going to run the race. This is a tradition, 146 years.
Yeah, and they were able to do it with no fans. Basically you had the owners and the trainers, and that was about, I should say, limited fans. And I don't think they were in the stands. I think they were in the stable area watching the race, because it looked like after the race, when they showed the replays of Baffert and the other people affiliated with Authentic, that they were down on the track. They were in the stable area, and not, normally you see them up in the stands for those camera shots. And
one of the amazing things about history with this race is this race got started right after the Civil War.
Right. It's been going on for a long time, and it's one of those horse racing, I think, has a very strong fan base, but not a very widespread fan base. It's not something that I think there's a lot of casual fans of. I think people either really follow horse racing or they just watch the 2 or 3 races of the year,
Yeah.
But then there's not a lot of those in-between fans that, and I know I'm one of them. I watch the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont, and that's pretty much it for horse racing for me for the year.
Yeah. Well, in the Belmont, that was run back in June.
Right.
And, of course, Tiz the Law won that race. And so we will not have a Triple Crown winner this year.
No.
Authentic won the Kentucky Derby. Then the Preakness, which is coming up on October the 3rd.
Right, first weekend in October.
And normally the Preakness is the second leg, and the Belmont is the third leg. Belmont is usually the longest race,
right,
at just about 1.5 miles. But even that was cut back to 1.25 miles, I believe, the same as the Kentucky Derby. But the Preakness coming up, that'll just be a little bit longer of a race. I can't remember exactly what the distance is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But they've been changing things up here a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see Authentic and Tiz the Law go at it again come October 3rd. I wonder if the time of year has anything to do with the horses and how they run, and because it's going to be a little bit chillier in October. And the horses run better in the summertime, the heat, or do they? I would think they would run better a little bit cooler.
Well, you would think so. I mean, you wouldn't get as overheated, I guess. It's a shorter race, so maybe that. I mean, when I say that, it's shorter than the Belmont, but that'll be interesting to see. The one thing that it didn't. Usually in the spring, at least one of those races is kind of muddy. I mean, you get into May and it's a lot of times it's on a sloppy track, either the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness. But usually by the time the Belmont rolls around and it's a little more summertime, that one doesn't seem to be as muddy as often.
Well, in this race, at the beginning, they were all together on that front stretch. And my wife mentioned, wow, it's pretty dusty there.
Well, yeah.
And all that dust coming up. And
right.
If you're not in the first group, you're getting a lot of stuff in your face.
Yeah, it definitely is different than a lot of mud flying. That's for sure. And but those jockeys, they race several times a day. And they understand the course, the track conditions, and
that can be a dangerous job too.
Oh, no question. We've seen over the years, jockeys get injured, jockeys get killed, unfortunately, at times, and there's thousands of pounds of animals. Running at pretty high speeds. I mean, I wouldn't want to get run over by one of those things. I mean, that would knock you silly, I would think.
Absolutely. Any word on what happened to your 2 scratched horses?
No.
I think I heard one had a fever.
And I think that was
your first one.
King Guillermo, who I didn't realize, Victor Martinez.
Yes.
Former Tiger is one of the owners of that horse. And then 1,000 Words, it was in the procession. I mean, they were bringing it out of the stables, and all of a sudden it, as horses sometimes do, it got spooked or skittish or something. And I didn't hear any more on it, but it was, causing quite a scene, I guess, back in the stable area, and they decided to scratch it for whatever reason.
Yeah,
so,
well, you don't want to make anything worse.
Well, and those horses are expensive. They're big investments, and you don't want anything to happen that would maybe ruin that investment, because those horses will all become breeder horses, and
that's what they're made for.
They continue to breed them after their racing careers are done, and so we've seen plenty of sons of these 2 horses over the years, and daughters of these 2 horses over the years become champion racers. So But then Thousand Words, which was another Bob Baffert horse, he had 3 in, I think, at one point. And, so that one. And then, of course, I don't know, did you see the trophy presentation at the end?
No.
When the horse kind of Authentic got nervous, and I mean, Bob Baffert got knocked over.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I mean, flowers were flying everywhere. He knocked a couple people over. And it was funny because someone posted on Facebook that even the trophy presentation, it had to be 2020 where people are getting knocked all over the place.
Well, I noticed at the beginning, the trumpeter, which we heard earlier, he was the only one on the stand over there, and nobody was even close to him except maybe a cameraman or two.
Right. Usually there's, a few people on that stand. And I think I read somewhere where traditionally the governor of Kentucky is there at the race, and he decided to stay home because he says, well, if the people of Kentucky can't go to the race, then neither should I. And so I thought that was,
that was good.
A good move on his part.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kentucky Derby in the books. So
another year.
We'll wait for the next one coming up here October 3rd, and should be a good one. And I'm sure we'll make our picks again.
Yeah, I'm sure we would. Why wouldn't we? That was fun.
All right. Hey, we'll be back with more here inside the cave this morning on this Labor Day weekend. Glad you could join us this morning. If you'd like to talk sports with us anywhere, give us a call on the studio line, 517-265-4000. We also have an email address, 965thecave.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter. So let us know what you're feeling this morning.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local anchor on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world.
That's a pretty good one. I buy that one. Okay.
So
not
ready
bad.
to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
In a report from the CDC, during June 24th through the 30th of this year, U.S. adults reported suffering higher mental health conditions associated with COVID-19. Younger adults, racial ethnic minorities, essential workers, and unpaid adult caregivers reported having experienced disproportionately worse mental health outcomes, increased substance use, and increased suicidal thoughts. 40% of U.S. adults reported struggling with their mental health or substance use. As time goes on and we continue dealing with the pandemic, mental health issues could continue to rise. Suicide rates could increase. Substance use could increase. Don't wait until you reach a crisis state. Reach out for help. 211 is a great resource for our community, as well as Lenawee Community Mental Health at 517-263-8905. Crisis service available 24/7, 365 a year. Check us out on Facebook.
I found us a place that wants to hire a few good employees. That's us.
Wait, does it pay well?
It does, and we can get meals and discounts on all kinds of things. The hours are flexible. They even offer scholarships, insurance, and a retirement plan.
Sounds too good to be true.
Nope, it's true.
McDonald's offers a wide variety of job and career opportunities from crew member to management. We're hiring for both our North and South Main locations in Adrian and at our Hudson Meridian Road McDonald's.
Get your vehicle in shape for the summer with a complete cleanup at Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing. They will clean your vehicle inside and out. They offer detailing services like interior shampoo, hand wax, and buffing. Their expert staff will make your car, SUV, or van sparkle. They even do boats, RVs, and semis. Gift certificates available. Beecher Street Car Wash and Auto Detailing is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. till 7 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Ask about their monthly membership and their annual memberships. They're located on West Beecher Street next to Barrett's.
Working with people who need assistance, be it the elderly or those with medical issues, takes a very special person, someone who is compassionate and caring. Are you that person? If you are, Hillsdale County Medical Care Facility wants to talk to you. This is a 5-star rated facility, and they are hiring. Apply today as a care associate and work full-time or part-time in a facility rated by U.S. News & World Report as one of the best nursing homes in 2019. Visit hillsdalemedicalcare.org. hillsdalemedicalcare.org.
You have come to count on Citizens Gas Fuel Company to provide your home or business with natural gas for all your daily needs. However, did you know that Citizens Gas is much more than your local gas utility? Citizens also offers comprehensive sales and service departments dedicated to serving you. The next time you're in the market for a gas appliance such as a water heater, gas grill, or space heater, give them a call at 517-265-2144. And service doesn't end after the sale. Citizens' experienced service technicians can install your purchase for you. Just ask the customer service representative to schedule an appointment for a service technician to give you an estimate. Or if you encounter unexpected problems with a major home appliance, such as a furnace, water heater, dryer, range, or even air conditioner, give them a call at 517-265-2144 and schedule an appointment today. Citizens Gas will provide you with fast, friendly, and reliable service. So remember, Citizens Gas Fuel Company in downtown Adrian, your local gas company, and more.
You are back inside the cave this morning. John Roberts along with yours truly, Pat Hayes. And we're talking sports here this morning and love to talk with you. If you got a comment, give us a call on the studio line. We'll get you right on. 517-265-4000 is the number to call. We're going to switch gears here a little bit and talk a little bit about high school football, which got its reprieve this
yes, it
week.
did.
Last Thursday, the governor said, yep, we're going to play some football, and boy, we can't wait.
Well, certainly, we have a lot of plans to broadcast games, not only on the Cave here, but also WLEN. And before we get into that, Pat, obviously one of the stories that came out this past weekend, we had a coach return to coaching.
That's great news.
Yeah, Taz Wallace, who had stepped away from the Madison Trojan program, decided on short notice it was going to be hard to find a replacement compared to, if football had been moved to the spring, they would have had time to do a coaching search and hire someone. So with short notice, they weren't going to be able to do that when the season got pushed back into the fall from the spring. So he decided to come back and, take care of this season, and then I would imagine they'll do a coaching search again over the winter if that's the direction they decide to head in.
That's great that he's coming back, and boy, I think we were all kind of shocked that he decided to step down.
Yeah, the program had been having better success in recent years, and I think they were pretty excited about this upcoming season, and so the timing of it when football got moved to the spring, I think he felt it was time, and probably if you read into what he says, he probably would have stepped away at the end of the fall season, but when Madison didn't have time to do a proper search for a replacement, I think he said, well, I'll step back in and get him through this season. And so I'm sure they're excited about that over at Madison.
A real class move there.
Yes.
And, we've got games coming up starting on the 18th.
The 18th.
When our first games can be broadcast and played. And, of course, 96.5 The Cave has 6 games on our schedule, and why don't we go run down them one at a time here, John?
Let's do that.
On the 18th, we'll have Onsted at Columbia Central. Of course, Jeff Bowman will be doing the play-by-play of all of the Cave games this year, and Onsted and Columbia Central. That's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, both teams, I believe, were playoff teams last year. Columbia Central finished 5-4. They didn't make the playoffs. But Onsted had a nice run into the playoffs.
They missed out on a field goal.
Lost on a last-second field goal to Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central. But had a 10-3 season, so a really good season for the Onsted Wildcats. It's a kind of a rivalry game, very close in proximity between those two schools.
We had Dan Terryberry on the air here this last week, and he's very, very excited. Actually, it was the day after the announcement was made that football will be back, and so he gave us a pretty good lineup of who his starters were or are going to be, and they are very, very excited. One question I have, though, is we had this uncertainty for several weeks of whether we were going to play football. Do we have enough time now that the kids are going to be in shape, good enough shape, I guess, to play some hard-nosed football?
Well, I think, yes. I think physically they'll be able to be in shape. I think one of the big issues that teams are going to face, and it could lead to some early upsets in games, you didn't get to have a scrimmage this year, and that's always a great chance to kind of work out some kinks, especially on offense. Defense is usually ahead of offense at the start of the season, and you didn't get that chance this year, and probably many schools even were limited in their 7-on-7s over the summer, depending on maybe where they were at or what their circumstances were. So we could see some games where the favorite may or may not win, or it could be a little bit of a sloppy game. And most schools are going to jump right into their conference schedule. You're not going to see a lot of non-conference games. Exactly. Maybe that Week 9 game or even a Week 8 game will be a non-conference game for some schools, but it's going to be interesting because right out of the chute, you're playing in a conference game, and looking at Onsted's schedule for this year, they're going to miss one of their conference games against Hillsdale, who would have been there,
very good
usually real good, and quite a battle between those two schools in recent years. So that would have been their third game. So they're going to open up with Columbia Central, and listening to Coach Terryberry on Friday, there aren't any night off games in the LCAA really this year, and you add Clinton into that mix, so that should be a challenge, and so they're going to need to get off to a fast start against Columbia Central.
Well, even if a team doesn't get off to a fast start and they have a good team, all teams will be making the playoffs this year.
That is correct. Very similar to what Ohio is doing this year and what Indiana has done for years. But in Indiana, they only play 8 regular season games, and that Week 9 game is a playoff game for everybody. So kind of a hybrid of what those two border states do. And so it'll be interesting, and it gives everybody the chance to at least play 7 games instead of the usual 9. Yeah. I didn't read, I know Ohio is letting schools, and Indiana has done this too. I don't know if Michigan is doing it or not, where they could, after you're eliminated from the playoffs, you can continue to schedule games against other schools that are eliminated from the playoffs. I don't know if Michigan's doing that or not. I didn't read that. I haven't heard that. So my guess is we are not doing that once you're eliminated from the playoffs, your football season is done.
We'll have to call Mark Ewell and find out.
Yeah, or maybe one of the local coaches will call us and let us know if they're listening.
All right, let's move along here to our second game here on the Cave on September the 25th. It'll be Tecumseh at Pinckney.
That'll be an interesting game. Pinckney, one of the teams that people are talking about for a chance to win the SEC White. The first year they came in, they had a real solid ball club, and then they've kind of taken a step back, and now they're kind of some of those guys that have been playing the last couple years, maybe as 2- and 3-year starters, will be back this year. Pinckney's going to be a team that people are going to have to pay attention to. Tecumseh has struggled in recent years, but I know they're getting a shot in the arm. Coach Al Romano, no longer at Siena, going back to Tecumseh, is going to help on the offensive side of the ball. So they'll be improved, but that's going to be a tough matchup for Tecumseh right out of the gate.
All right, we have our that's circled on our calendar here, a big rivalry, Hudson versus Onsted. That'll be Hudson at Onsted. That'll be on October 2nd.
Okay, so we've got Onstead a couple times out of the gate, and a new coach for the Hudson Tigers, and Dan Roger taking over for Chris Luma, who was a longtime coach at Hudson. Yeah. So Hudson hasn't had a lot of coaching changeover, it doesn't seem like, over the years, at least not since I've been here.
Exactly.
And so Dan Rogers, who I believe called the defense for a long time for the Tigers, is taking over as the head coach. So that should be a good LCAA battle. And, as we said, there aren't a lot of nights off.
All right, next up we got Morenci at Madison.
Big Tri-County matchup. Both teams are going to compete for the championship, you're going to need to win that game.
And we've got Columbia Central at Hudson. That'll be on October the 16th.
Again, we've talked about these two teams. And
that should be a good one.
Should be a good one.
And then Blissfield at Onstead to close out the regular season. That'll be on October 23rd.
Well, that we'll see who the best team in purple in the county is.
Not sure what Blissfield has up their sleeve this year.
No, they've got a lot of those.
Yeah,
and they've got a lot of good players coming back. Some of those guys that are good athletes in baseball and basketball for them are also good football players. So Blissfield should be right in the hunt for the LCAA title as well.
All right, that's our schedule on 96.5 The Cave. As we said, Jeff Bowman will be calling those games here every Friday night as we wind down our first hour here of Inside the Cave. If you'd like to comment on some of these games, like to put your 2 cents worth in, please do so. We'll continue our conversation in our second hour here of Inside the Cave. So stay tuned. And we'll be talking about a lot of other things, maybe a little bit of Big Ten football.
Maybe some Lions.
Yeah. They're coming up here.
They play next Sunday.
That's right. And we're going to have our picking contest.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that, what our listeners can look forward to.
Well, stay tuned. This has been the first hour. We'll be back for hour number 2 here in just a couple of minutes. You're Inside the Cave this morning with John Roberts and Pat Hayes.
I'm Stan the Man, I am, and I have to say it feels quite warm outside today. But summer thunderstorms are now the norm, and older roofs can spring leaks. Pesky roof leaks can creep and seep and make your walls and ceilings weep. Flat roofs are steep. The cats in the blue hats at Diversified Roofing can fix that straight away. Call 1-800-668-1928 today, and we'll make those leaks all go away. With Diversified's fair rates, rebates, and financing that's great, that's 1-800-668-1928. You won't get taken for a ride when you call Diversified. We're Master Elite certified and GAF roofing that's tried and true. We're state licensed and fully insured too. Your roof's installed professionally with honesty and pride when you call Diversified at 1-800-668-1928. Here's our website too for you. For Stan the Man and the cats in the blue hats, that's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com. Again, that's DiversifiedRoofingLLC.com.
Build your own deal. That's right. You can go to SuburbanChevroletofClinton.com, click on the vehicle you are interested in, choose the options you want, and actually build your own deal. You can also get your trade appraisal, set up your financing, and choose picking it up or we'll deliver it to you. How much easier can it get? This is Josh Holly, General Sales Manager at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton on the corner of M52 and US 12. Let's see you driving your new Chevy today. Make the choice at Suburban Chevrolet of Clinton.
This is Pam Campbell, Superintendent of Columbia Schools. Columbia Central High School has a focus on STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. The caring teachers at Columbia make a difference for our students. Many students enjoy STEM courses in forensic science, sports medicine, and engineering. High school students take advantage of our advanced placement courses and early college program. Columbia School District, from preschool and early fives through high school and adult education. Learning today, leading tomorrow. Visit us at myeagles.org.
Is your vehicle so dirty that little kids are writing wash me notes on it?
My hands are all dirty.
Is your wife ashamed to ride with you?
Let's take my car.
Is your vehicle so dirty that it looks like it's a different color?
I thought your car was white.
Then it's time to go to Sudsy Does It Car Wash. We know you want your car to look great, so try Sudsy Does It Car Wash in Tecumseh.
Sudsy Does It Car Wash, Gary's Quick Lube too.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players. And get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.
The best in regional sports from Southeast Michigan. WLEN Adrian, HD2, W243AD, 96.5 The Cave.
96.5 The Cave. Lenawee County Sports. Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. This is Inside the Cave on 96.5 FM and 965thecave.com. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle, where we give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports, interview area coaches and players, and get you ready to start your day.
Good morning.
Now grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave.
And you're back inside the cave this morning. Welcome back to hour number 2. John Roberts and yours truly, Pat Hayes, with you this morning on this Labor Day holiday weekend. Good morning, John.
Good morning again, Pat.
And Labor Day always, kind of end of summer, start of football season.
Yeah, no question. And it's looking like, however, spring football is where we're going for a lot of schools, including the Siena Heights Saints. Steve Barkway was able to talk with head coach Matt Cohn about the challenges that will present.
You know, spring in Michigan is actually winter, so we're going to have a little winter / maybe a little spring. Right now, our first game of that spring schedule is set to take place the last weekend in February. So not exactly spring weather in Michigan, if you know what I mean, Steve.
Well, now you'll be able to see what the baseball coaches are always complaining about.
Absolutely. You know, there's going to be a lot of moving parts. Certainly, operating a lot of sports at that time will be challenging, but I just can't say enough about our leadership here at Siena, our athletic director, our president, our dean for students. We've all worked extremely hard since we've been on quarantine to make this campus very safe for everybody, and there's plans on top of plans. So we'll be ready to go just as soon as we're able to.
And that's Siena Heights head football coach Matt Cohn. Local story, Toledo, Ohio, boxer DeAndre Ware is being called a real hero after using his EMS training to revive an employee who collapsed at his weigh-in before a weekend fight in Las Vegas. Top Rank Boxing says Ware was undergoing his own medical checks Friday night when he helped assist the on-site doctors attend to a longtime Top Rank coordinator who had collapsed. Ware, who is also a Toledo firefighter, said he was happy to say the guy was talking a bit and was alert headed to the hospital. Top Rank spokesman Evan Korn told the Toledo Blade in an email that Ware is a real hero today and all of Top Rank owes him a debt of gratitude. So,
great story.
Great story. Grayson Griner for the Tigers. Go Tigers. Hit a tie-breaking homer in the 8th inning off left fielder Eddie Rosario's glove, and the Detroit Tigers rocked Minnesota's bullpen for 8 runs to beat the Twins 10-8. Detroit erased a 4-run deficit by raking Minnesota's relievers in the late innings. The Tigers snapped a streak of 5 straight losses to the Twins. Tigers reliever Kyle Funkhauser earned his first career win, while Brian Garcia pitched a scoreless 9th for his first big league save. So
congratulations to
keep it going today. Yeah. Tigers, they're on at 2:10.
2:10 this afternoon, and yeah.
Keep it going. Some scores from baseball yesterday. Cleveland defeated Milwaukee 4-1. Tampa over Miami 5-4. San Diego defeated Oakland 5-3. The Padres are red hot. Baltimore 5-1 over the Yankees.
Yay.
Yay. Never hurts to see that. Chicago White Sox 8, Kansas City 2. The Tigers, as we mentioned, 10-8 over the Twins. Toronto defeated Boston by that same score, 10-8. Seattle over the Texas Rangers 4-3. And the Los Angeles Angels 9, the Houston Astros 5. In the National League, it was the Mets 14 and the Phillies 1. The Braves 10, the Nationals 3. I almost said the Senators, Pat. Shows you we're going back a way, aren't we?
Yeah.
The Pirates 3, the Reds 2 in a tight Central Division game. The Giants 4, the Diamondbacks 2, the St. Louis Cardinals 7, the Chicago Cubs 3, and finally the Colorado Rockies 7 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 6. In the National Basketball Association, we're in the conference semifinals, and yesterday's games, in overtime, the Milwaukee Bucks rallied to defeat the Miami Heat, and they trail the Heat 3-1, 3-1 in that series. While in the nightcap, the Los Angeles Lakers were able to defeat the Houston Rockets, and that series is now even at a game apiece. So the NBA in the bubble down in Orlando. The Detroit Lions, big news on that front yesterday. Adrian Peterson has agreed to a 1-year contract with the Detroit Lions, according to a person with knowledge of the deal. 1 year, $1.05 million with a few incentives in there that could earn him a little bit more money. The Peterson was released by Washington on Friday after spending the past 2 seasons there. He has rushed for 14,216 yards in 13 seasons, primarily with the Minnesota Vikings. He's right behind former Lion Barry Sanders on the all-time list. So wouldn't that be ironic if he passed him? He's about 1,000 yards behind. So
hey, if he can run
for 1,000 yards, go for it. That'd be a good thing for the Lions. So we'll hope he does that. I guess maybe kind of mixed emotions with Barry Sanders.
It's got to make you wonder if some of the running backs from the Lions are hurt. I know.
Swift, I guess, has had a leg injury that he's been battling most of training camp, and of course Johnson, we're never sure how durable he is with that knee, and so
pretty apt to getting hurt.
So let's hope they are all healthy at some point here, and we can use all three, or don't forget Bo Scarborough too. They got 4 pretty good running backs. So if they can help the Lions run the football and win some games, we'll take them all. Kevin Harvick has opened NASCAR's playoffs by earning his circuit-leading 8th win overall this season and 2nd at Darlington. Harvick had a bit of luck in this one. Martin Truex Jr. led for a race-high 196 laps until he bumped with Chase Elliott, causing them to brush the way. Truex had to pit for repairs, putting Harvick in control of the race for the final 14 laps.
They deserve to scooch.
Yeah, someone got a scooch.
Yep.
Austin Dillon finished 2nd, followed by Joey Logano, Eric Jones, and William Byron. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's conference finals time. Then yesterday, the Western Conference finals got underway. And Anton Khudobin and the Dallas Stars took Game 1 by a score of 1-0. The Stars allowed just 25 shots on goal to allow Khudobin to get his first career playoff shutout over the top-seeded Vegas Golden Knights. Neither team scored after John Klingberg beat Marc-Andre Fleury 2 minutes and 36 seconds into the contest. That was enough offense for Dallas to get within 3 wins of their first Stanley Cup final appearance in 20 years. Fleury stopped 24 shots for the Knights, who will try to pull even in Game 2 on Tuesday.
We practiced the crap out of it.
And I'm sure that practice paid off for the Stars yesterday. So, Baseball Hall of Famer and former stolen base king Lou Brock has died at the age of 81. His longtime agent and friend confirmed Brock's death on Sunday, but he said he couldn't provide any details. Brock became a Cardinal in one of the most lopsided trades in Major League history. He went on to win 2 World Series and 3 NL pennants with St. Louis. Brock stole 938 bases in his career, including 118 in the 1974 season. Both were records later broken by Rickey Henderson. Brock had over 3,000 hits while compiling a .293 batting average over 19 seasons. He had lost a leg from diabetes in recent years and was diagnosed with cancer in 2017. So
I remember watching him on Saturday afternoon baseball. Kurt Gowdy calling the game, and he mentioned Lou Brock's name a lot.
Yeah, one of the great players in the Cardinals franchise history for sure, a Hall of Famer. Dustin Johnson matched the low round at the Tour Championship with a 6-under 64 that puts him 1 round away from capturing the FedEx Cup and its $15 million prize. Johnson missed only 3 fairways and putted for birdie on all but 3 holes. It led to a 5-shot lead over Justin Thomas and Xander Schauffele going into the Labor Day finish today at East Lake. Johnson was at 19 under par, his 4th consecutive event holding at least a share of the 54-hole lead. So,
he must be pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good, especially right now. A fit of anger has cost Novak Djokovic a chance to win a 4th U.S. Open title. The top-ranked player and prohibitive favorite was defaulted from his 4th-round match after he accidentally hit a line judge with a tennis ball. Djokovic had just lost a game to his opponent, Pablo Carreño Busta, to fall behind 6-5 in the first set. As he walked to the sideline for the changeover, Djokovic smacked the ball behind him. The ball hit a female line judge who dropped to her knees at the back of the court and reached for her neck. The chair umpire announced the default following a minutes-long conversation with officials on court. It seemed clear Djokovic did not intend to hit the line judge. There was concern on his face as soon as he realized what happened, but players who hit a ball out of anger and make contact with an on-court official have been defaulted in the past. With more of that, we have ABC's Joey Waller reporting.
In a statement, Novak Djokovic says he's, quote, really sad and empty, unquote, apologizing after being disqualified from the U.S. Open. The world's number 1 down 6-5 for a set, then in frustration swatting a ball, accidentally hitting and hurting a female line judge. Officials making opponent Pablo Carreño Busta the winner.
I was in shock. I never expected this moment playing against Novak, so it was a tough moment also to me.
Busta on to the 4th round. Joey Waller, ABC Sports.
So big doings on the tennis court in the U.S. Open. Switching to college football, much of the off-season chatter surrounding college football transfers inevitably focuses on quarterbacks, but plenty of notable players at other positions also switch teams and could make major impacts for their new schools this fall. Miami may offer the clearest example of this. The Hurricanes are counting on Houston graduate transfer quarterback Derek King to boost the offense and Temple graduate transfer Quincy Roach to lift the defense. The list of non-quarterback transfers who could make an impact this season also includes LSU linebacker Jabril Cox as he makes the transition from football championship subdivision power North Dakota State. And finally, Tom Jernstedt, a member of the Naismith Hall of Fame for his contributions to college basketball and the NCAA tournament, has died. He was 75. The NCAA said Jernstedt died this weekend. Nicknamed Father of the Final Four, Jernstedt has widely been credited with transforming the NCAA tournament into the billion-dollar March Madness it has become today. A former backup quarterback, Jernstedt worked his first Final Four in 1973 and helped push the growth of the NCAA tournament from 25 teams to the 68 anything can happen bonanza held every spring.
And it is imperative that tournament go on this next year.
Yes.
Or there's going to be a lot of colleges and universities in trouble.
Yeah, and that would mean a lot of colleges and universities will be cutting a lot of sports.
Maybe all sports.
Yeah, they certainly can't survive the hit of no football and then no NCAA tournament.
Total devastation. Thank you very much, John, for those sports headlines. As we left off, our last hour, we were talking about high school football here in Lenawee County. We did go down the 96.5, the Cave schedule of games. I'll run those down real quickly again. Onstead at Columbia Central on September the 18th. Tecumseh at Pinckney on September 25th. It'll be Hudson versus Onstead. That'll be a good one. That'll be on October the 2nd. Morenci at Madison on the 9th of October. Columbia Central at Hudson on the 16th. And it will be Blissfield at Onstead on the 23rd of October. 6-game schedule here on 96.5 The Cave, and then we will move on to tournament play. As we mentioned our last hour, all teams will make the playoffs this season for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. So that's good news. You can start out not so good, improve, and maybe go deep into the tournament.
That does give you that opportunity, that's for sure.
And I think this hour we are going to run over the Adrian Maples football schedule, and we'll do that starting right now, John. We have the opener. Of course, we thought it was going to be Madison and Adrian squaring off, but of course, the first 3 weeks are out, and we're going with the regular schedule as they had them. So week 4, it'll be Lincoln at Adrian. And before we get into this, Adrian plays 5 of their 6 games at home. What an advantage that is.
Yes, if you are a fan of the Maples, well, you're, with limited seating, only certain ones are going to be able to get into games, but that's quite an advantage to not have to travel very often to play your season. So
Lincoln at Adrian, that'll be on the 18th of this month.
Yeah, Lincoln, kind of a down year last year, finished 2-7. Very atypical for them. They've been, one of the better teams in the white division in recent years. So I'm sure Coach Chris Westfall and his staff are going to have the rail splitters ready to bounce back.
Well, when you think of Lincoln, you think of Imani Bates, but of course, he's not there
not anymore.
Lincoln at 8, and I remember going to Lincoln several times and doing games from the sideline there. That's a tough place to play sometime. They usually have a lot of athletes over there, a lot of speed.
Yep.
And Adrian's going to have to, of course, be looking at that.
Yeah, no question. Defensively, I'm sure Lincoln will present a challenge for the Maples.
Coming up on the 25th of September, we've got Dexter at Adrian. And of course, former Maple coach Phil Jacobs, the head coach up at Dexter, and he's got him working on all 11 cylinders.
Yeah, no question. A playoff team last year who lost some players, but also returned some really good players. So Dexter finished second in the SEC White last year, and they're certainly going to be right in the hunt again this year.
And then on the 2nd of October, we have the Chelsea Bulldogs and the Adrian Maples, and that is always a rivalry game there, and a quite bitter one.
Well, for many years, the winner of that game won the SEC White. It's not quite like that anymore, but, Adrian is going to show up, and they're going to play Chelsea with a lot of pride. But Chelsea really is, they're kind of the standard in the SEC White, and that's who everybody's chasing. They lost in the state semifinals last year to a very good River Rouge team. So, Chelsea's got the target on their back, and it's going to stay there until somebody takes it off. And that'd be a great upset win for the Maples, for sure.
I remember the games going up to Chelsea, and the thing that really impressed me about their situation up there, I mean, they trot out just about every football player that plays at Chelsea all the way down to the midgets, and they've got really an outstanding program going for them up there.
Yeah, no question. Former coach Brad Bush did a great job of building that program into not just a conference power, but a program that's really well respected at the state level.
All right, on October the 9th, kind of a newcomer to the Southeast Conference, Jackson. We're going to be that's our only away game, playing up at Whittington Stadium, I believe, right?
Yes, they still play at Whittington. Tony Dungy Field, however, it is now. And Jackson came in with a bang into the SEC. I believe they won it the very first year they were in it. And then last year kind of tailed off to 5-4. Still a good football program. Coach Scott Farley has done a good job up there for a long time. And, that's going to be a tough one for the Maples to go on the road and win up in Jackson.
Then coming up on the 16th of October, it's Ann Arbor Huron coming to Adrian.
Yeah, interesting. It's been a few years since the Maples have played Huron.
It's kind of a crossover game?
Yep. Each team will have a crossover game. So, Huron's been down actually a little bit the last few years. Only one win in the last 5 seasons.
Wow.
And that came last year in the very first game of the year, and then they finished 1-8. So really an opportunity for the Maples to get a win there. It'll be at home, and a good chance for Adrian to break through there if they haven't already by that time.
I remember some great River Rat teams of the past.
Yeah, no question.
Really always in the hunt for the SEC.
Yeah, we used to have some battles with Huron, that's for sure.
And closing out the season on October 24th, I believe that's a Saturday game.
It is a Saturday game.
It's kind of a home-and-home series with Birch Run?
No, actually, Pat, if I remember correctly, it's a 1-year deal.
Okay.
They've agreed to come to Adrian. Coach Chris Gilliam, for many years, was the head coach at Birch Run High School. So I think he called up his former player, who's the head coach there now, and said, let's play a game. And they had an open date in their schedule. And, they also had a bit of a struggle last year, finished 1-8. Just like Huron won their very first game of the year and then did not win another game the rest of the year. But prior to last season, they've been fairly competitive, right around 500 every year, making the playoffs a few years. So, certainly Adrian can't take that one for granted, but another opportunity for a win there.
All right, that's the schedule. And, of course, John Kane will be calling the play-by-play in his 45th season of calling Maple football. That's quite a record.
It's almost as long as I've been alive, Pat.
Well, I know John is quite old, but
well, we won't talk about his age on the air.
If you'd like to talk sports with us, give us a call here on the studio line. Got plenty of time for you. 265-4000. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
We're not just fair weather fans. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Whoa! Gross!
Hey, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. 96.5, The Cave.
Long Motor Sales in Tecumseh is asking for your help. Please do your part and wear a face mask while you're in public spaces. Do it for the kids, if not for yourself. We want our kids to be able to go back to school this fall. A friendly reminder that you can shop Long's current inventory online at longmotorsales.net.
New to the lot this week at Long Motor Sales is a burgundy 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. This sporty SUV features a strong V6 engine, remote keyless entry, and four-wheel drive. With 130,000 miles, there's still a lot of life left on this one. Priced at $12,750. Stop in and tell Eric you want to take this car for a ride today.
If your vehicle needs an oil change or a major overhaul or repair, take it to Long's Automotive Service. Nathan Long has over 15 years of experience as a certified technician, giving you dealership quality service at a low price. Long Motor Sales and Long Automotive Service in Tecumseh. Long, a name you know and trust.
With our 8-year track record of teaching success through Tecumseh Virtual Academy, we are prepared to educate your students. Hundreds of students have taken core subjects and AP classes and gone on to graduate while participating in the TVA Dynamic Learning Community. This year, crossover options are available for in-class and online learning. With equipment and our experienced support staff provided, we invite you to contact Tecumseh Virtual Academy to explore your students' options. Go to TVA Tecumseh online or find our link on WLEN.com.
You'll hit a home run every time with Hayes Insurance Agency.
Their team of independent agents will cover all the bases
and find you the right policy at the best price.
For your car, your home, your business, whatever you need.
Hayes Insurance, serving residents of Lenawee County and beyond for over a half century.
Call 517-423-8316.
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Or visit HayesINS.com. In 1968, Tigers great Jim Northrup hit 2 grand slams in one game.
And ever since, the Hayes Insurance Agency has been hitting grand slams for all its customers in Lenawee County and beyond.
For your car, your home, your farm, your business, count on Hayes Insurance Agency.
On Occidental Highway between Adrian and Tecumseh.
Call 517-423-8316.
Call Hayes Insurance, get all the insurance you need.
Or visit HayesINS.com.
We've been doing business in downtown Tecumseh since 1982. Hi, this is Ed Hall with Carpet on Wheels. That's 38 years as a family-owned local business. Of course, we couldn't have done it without the support of our clients, but there's something to be said about being around for so long. We carry newer selections of floor covering, window treatments, and area rugs. We professionally install everything we sell. Stop in, see for yourself. Get the quality you need and the service you deserve at Carpet on Wheels.
Hi, my name is Janie Navarro. I'm a realtor with Excel Realty. I am fluent in Spanish and love assisting the Hispanic community. Call or text me anytime so I can assist you in buying or selling a home. Buenos días, mi nombre es Janie Navarro. Soy una agente de real estate con Excel Realty. Puedo ayudarles con la compra y venta de su casa. Me encanta ayudar a mi comunidad España. Sé que puede ser difícil si no habla inglés. Llámame o mándame un texto y estaré lista para asistirles. 403-4215.
Welcome back to Inside the Cave this morning on this Labor Day holiday weekend. Glad you could join us here on 96.5 The Cave. My name is Pat Hayes. John Roberts is with me this morning. We've been talking sports for the last hour and a half, and we're going to switch things over from high school football maybe to a little professional football coming up next weekend already, which I'm sure a lot of people can't wait.
Well, I know I'm excited for it, Pat. I generally I'm much more of a college football fan than I am pro football, but especially with no Big Ten playing right now, probably be a little more focused on the NFL than I normally am. So, and we're going to do a kind of a deal here. The Cave staff, we're going to make our weekly NFL picks of all the games and kind of just have a little fun with it, keep track of it, and kind of like we did with the Kentucky Derby, we each picked a horse and see who wins, and we're going to have a local guest picker each week. And for week 1, our guest picker is Andy Maines, the athletic director at Adrian High, and so we're going to line up a different local sports figure each week to make some picks for us.
That'll
and
be fun.
Kind of challenge the Cave staff and see if they can beat the Cave staff in their picks. So
almost like pick the stick.
Pick the stick. There you go.
We should come up with a name for it.
We should pick the pigskin picks or something. We'll
Football folly.
Right. Well, probably some weeks it'll resemble that. That's for sure. So we'll put those up on our Cave social media sites and our website so that listeners can see who we're picking and kind of keep track along home with us. And we hope maybe as the season goes on, when those get up, people will contact us or respond on social media, call us, email us, and let us know where they think we're right on, and maybe where they think we're all wet too. So but first week of NFL season, a Thursday night game kicks off the season. The Chiefs and the Texans, which should be a pretty good matchup of two playoff teams from last year. And then the Lions open up at home against the Bears on Sunday.
The Bears.
Bears.
That'll be at Ford Field. That'll be a 1 o'clock start.
Yep.
And you can hear it right here on 96.5.
Yes, you can. We're going to be carrying all the Lions games this fall right here on 96.5 The Cave, as you said, Pat. And we've got a new Lion as of yesterday, and we talked a little bit about him in the update. But Adrian Peterson, one of the top 5-6 running backs in terms of rushing yards, really to ever play the game, is now a Detroit Lion.
This will be his 14th season in the NFL, and we were talking off air. If he could pick up 1,000 yards, boy, that would be great.
Oh my gosh, that would mean great things for the Lions. You know, I was talking with someone yesterday. Last year he ran for almost 898 yards.
We'll take that too.
We would take that too. But I said, you know, if he runs for 700 yards, it's a good pickup.
Yeah.
Because 700 yards, if he was on last year's team with 700 yards, he would have been the leading rusher.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
Well, Kerryon Johnson, you know, he's probably one of our best running backs.
But we can't keep him healthy.
We can't keep him healthy.
Yeah.
He's nicked up a lot of the times.
And so maybe having another quality running back, lighten that load a little bit, not give him as many opportunities to get nicked up and lengthen his career, because I think he's a good running back. And now they drafted DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. He's got a little bit of a leg injury that's kind of set him back in training camp. So the running back position is not 100% healthy going into the season opener. So I think the signing of Peterson is a good signing.
Well, it is a good signing, but realistically, Peterson is not going to get the number of carries that, say, Swift or
well, we hope not. I mean, you know, you want to see those younger guys
He's
get
kind
the
of an
ball.
Insurance policy.
Yeah, no question. And I would guess if those guys aren't healthy, he might carry the ball more to start the season. But, you know, I guess you hope he's not carrying the ball a lot at the end of the season, because it either means those guys haven't progressed or they're not healthy.
That's right.
And you know, those guys I think are the running backs of the future in Detroit. So I want to see them.
I could
do
see
well.
him coming in on third down. Maybe I don't know, 3 or 4 yards to go for a first down.
Yeah. You know, he averages about a little over 4 yards a carry for his career. So, you know, short yardage, goal line type situations, you know, and I just think it's a good pickup for the team.
Yeah. I think his speed is not where it obviously was when he first started this game. But anyway, he's a hard worker. I know that.
Yeah, and I think he's a professional. You know, he understands what it takes to be successful as an individual and certainly as a team. And I just kind of go back to, he ran for 900 yards with a Washington team last year that not very good.
No.
I mean, maybe worse than the Lions last year. I know they beat the Lions, but they beat the Lions without Matt Stafford. And I think if Stafford's healthy, that's a game they win last year. So I don't think they're a better team than the Lions, and he ran for almost 900 yards.
Well, you look at the first part of the season, especially when the Lions played the Kansas City Chiefs at home. They had the game won. But, of course, as we all know, Patrick Mahomes brought them back in the closing minutes to win that ball game. So you look, if we would have had Matthew Stafford for the rest of the season healthy, there's no question in my mind that the Lions would have made the playoffs.
Well, I won't go that far, but I know they don't win 3 games. They certainly would have been a playoff contender. But they don't win only 3 games if Matt Stafford's healthy last year.
There's 5 or 6 games that they were leading in the fourth quarter and lost the game going away. So, but anyway, looking at this year, a healthy Matthew Stafford, I mean, this could be his best year ever because he's got the tools around him now.
Yeah, and he was playing really well last year, the first half of the season before he got hurt against the Raiders. you know, and then you bring in two quarterbacks who, you know, to be quite honest, obviously they're NFL quarterbacks. They're on an NFL team, but they're not anybody that strikes fear in opposing defensive coordinators. And, you know, so the Lions finished the season 0-8, basically. I think they lost every game that Stafford didn't play. But, boy, if you look back on some of those scores, they lost by 3 to the Packers in the last game of the year, lost by 10 to Denver. They got blown out by Tampa Bay at home. You know, lost by a couple touchdowns at Minnesota. They lost by 4 to the Bears. They lose by 3 to the Redskins. They lost by 8 to the Cowboys. Just going back through the schedule, lost by a touchdown to the Bears. They win half of those games, we could say, with a healthy Matt Stafford. Mm-hmm. So now they win 7 or 8 games, and like you said, Pat, they're potentially a playoff team.
Absolutely. So the Bears coming up this next Sunday.
Yep.
And then it's the Green Bay Packers.
In Green Bay, so that won't be an easy one, that's for sure.
I had the opportunity to go up to Green Bay and take a look at the field up there.
Oh, really?
Oh, what a magnificent structure they have there. And
I'll bet.
The history, they have a museum there, and just, 365 days a year almost, that place is running.
Well,
people
and
are coming through there.
You know, if you're Green Bay, Wisconsin, that's what makes your town is the Green Bay Packers.
Exactly.
And I know it's a publicly owned franchise. I mean, there are people in town that are owners of that franchise, and so it's a little different than the ownership structure of all the other NFL teams. But yeah, they've got some tough games right out of the chute. So they follow the Packers at Arizona, and then they play the Saints at home. So those first 4 games are no joke. They need to get off to a good start, and I hate to say it, but 1-3 technically could be a good start against those 4 teams. I think the key is they need to be competitive, close football games. Mm-hmm. And I think if you can get through, then they have the bye in week 5, and then after that, the schedule eases up some. And so maybe an opportunity to finish strong in the second half. I think, if the Lions are 2-2 after 4 games, Lions fans shouldn't be disappointed given the teams they play.
Yeah. I agree.
3-1 would be an amazing start.
Do you think this will be Aaron Rodgers' last season with the Packers?
That's a tough one. Obviously he's still a really good quarterback. Like every player, they get older. They're not as great as they once were, but he's still pretty darn good. I mean, there's a lot of people that, say he's right in the conversation for the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, the game's changing a little bit where guys like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and, they're becoming more the prototypical quarterback, but he can still throw the football, and
we'll see.
I think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder coming into this year, too. They drafted another quarterback, and so I think he's going to have something to prove. So the Packers, I'm not sure they're my pick to win the NFC North, but they're a dangerous football team for sure.
Of course, Arizona, the Lions tied them last year, and which should have been a win. But,
they had the lead and kind of fell apart at the end there.
But New Orleans, you got Drew Brees. He's coming to the twilight of his career, too.
Yeah, also, so that's a tough game. Fortunately, it's home, and for some reason, the Lions always play tough teams well at home. Yeah. And occasionally pull off the win of a team maybe they shouldn't beat on paper. So, and then they get the bye week early in the season once again. And then, they play at Jacksonville, at Atlanta, home against Indianapolis, at the Vikings, which won't be easy.
No.
And then Washington, so there are a lot of non-playoff teams in the back end of the schedule, but some tough teams as well. So they got a chance to, if with a good quick start, to certainly be in the playoff hunt if they can take care of business in the second half of the schedule.
They got Houston on the 26th of November. That'll be Thanksgiving Day against Houston.
So that won't be an easy one for sure. But, when you're playing at home, you stand a much better chance of winning, and then they close out at home, couple home games, Tampa Bay. So we'll get to see Tom Brady. I would guess that'll be his last trip to Ford Field as a player. He doesn't have too many years left. And then, they've got the Vikings at home. And you never know if they're in they could be in the playoff hunt. And
yeah, both of those teams could be a must-win game for them.
Yeah. I think the Vikings are, in my mind, the favorite to win the North. But they might be, that could be whether they're the North Division champions or they're a wild card or maybe in the playoffs altogether. And, it's obviously it's all speculation, and injuries play a huge role, as we saw with the Lions last year with Matt Stafford.
Boy, injuries really, really can make you or break you.
Yeah. And certainly the defense has to get better this year for the Lions as well. That was a real sore spot last year. And
what about backup quarterback this year? We still have
Chase Daniel. Actually, they brought him in from the Bears, and I think that's an upgrade. He's a guy who won some games for the Bears last year when Trubisky was out, and so I think he's a guy that can win you a game or two at the NFL level. He's certainly not the long-term answer. And if they've got to go to him for half the season like they did last year when Stafford went down, it's not going to be a great season, I would think, for the Lions. But I think a lot of people are underestimating this team. I think they're going to be better than a lot of people think they are. And getting Adrian Peterson, and if he can stay healthy, that certainly doesn't hurt the Lions.
Absolutely. All right, Lions, you can hear them right here on 96.5 The K beginning next week. So we have to take a break here. We'll be back, talk more sports. If you'd like to give us a call and put your 2 cents worth in, the phone number to call is 517-265-4000. You're Inside the Cave with Pat Hayes, John Roberts.
The big names, the big games. We get you the story inside the Cave. 96.5 The Cave.
Everybody huddle up. Here's the play. If you wear any kind of screen printed item, go to ProMed Uniform and get your company logo, school spirit wear, fundraiser events, family reunions, any screen printing needs. If you need custom embroidery, go to ProMed Uniform and get your varsity jacket, company logo, corporate apparel, or just that special embroidered item. Score! Let's repeat that play. Nobody can beat it. ProMed Uniform is Lenawee County's premier embroidery and screen printing destination. All screen printing and embroidery is done in-house. ProMed Uniform is where quality work and the best pricing in Lenawee County come together. Please support local businesses and shop ProMed Uniform for all your screen printing and embroidering needs. T-shirts, varsity jackets, corporate apparel, screen printing, embroidery. ProMed Uniform, 937 West Beecher in Adrian.
I have a theory why people love Culver's chicken tenders. And it's not just because they go great with an ice-cold Pepsi. First, it's the quality of our chicken. These are thicker, bursting with more flavor, whole white meat chicken tenders. The difference is, Culver's chicken is raised with the best feed in a comfortable environment. Next, you can have them any way you want. Try original or go buffalo. Then get the dipping with your favorite sauces.
It's not theory, it's fact. Culver's Original and Buffalo chicken tenders are perfect with a Pepsi. Welcome to delicious.
Life as a farmer has many sides. That's why we work with Nationwide, the #1 farm insurer, to help farmers and ranchers stay profitable and protected. With Nationwide, you can feel confident you're getting coverage that fits your operations needs. Find out how to help protect your farm or ranch. Call us today.
D.S. Johnson & Associates, located in Adrian, Morenci, and Monroe. Give them a call today at 517-263-2582.
For your many sides, there's Nationwide. Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review and approval. Products and discounts not available to all persons in all states.
Looking for a great lunch or dinner to satisfy the whole gang? The Brick Wall Pub and Grill in downtown Adrian has it all. Juicy burgers, quesadillas, pizzas, salads, homemade soups, and so much more. Check their Facebook page for daily food and drink specials. Indoor and outdoor seating is available. Call 759-4072 for takeout orders. That's 759-4072. Join Crazy Karen for karaoke fun Thursday nights starting at 8 p.m. The Brick Wall Pub and Grill. They're not just another brick in the wall.
In a report from the CDC,
During June 24th through the 30th of this year, U.S. adults reported suffering higher mental health conditions associated with COVID-19. Younger adults, racial ethnic minorities, essential workers, and unpaid adult caregivers reported having experienced disproportionately worse mental health outcomes, increased substance use, and increased suicidal thoughts. 40% of U.S. adults reported struggling with their mental health or substance use. As time goes on and we continue dealing with the pandemic, mental health issues could continue to rise. Suicide rates could increase. Substance use could increase. Don't wait until you reach a crisis state. Reach out for help. 211 is a great resource for our community, as well as Lenawee Community Mental Health at 517-263-8905. Crisis service available 24/7, 365 a year. Check us out on Facebook.
This hour and 45 minutes gone fast. You're back inside the cave this morning with John Roberts and yours truly, Pat Hayes. We're talking sports. If you'd like to talk sports with us, call us. 517-265-4000. Wherever you are around the world, listening to us on 96.5 FM or 96.5 The Cave. So, John, where do we go from here? Talk a little more football?
Well, we could, Pat. We had some college games get started this weekend. We talked a little bit during the break that neither one that we saw early on was really a great game.
No blockbusters.
No. In terms of the scoreboard, now, if you're a fan of those teams that won those games in routes, I'm sure you thought it was a great game, but not a lot of exciting football matchups the first weekend, but I would imagine as we get into next weekend, there'll be some better games, and certainly each weekend as we go along. It's tough to, as I said when we were getting ready to talk Lions, to get real enthused about college football with no Big Ten playing, at least locally. I think it's hard to get fired up. 3 of the 5 Power 5 conferences are playing, but 2 aren't. And, that's a big gap right here in this part of our country. And But you keep hearing, well, maybe October, maybe, and I every day that passes, I think that's less likely to happen. Yeah. But Jim Harbaugh had an interesting quote over the weekend. He said, we could be ready to play in 2 weeks. And they did have some practices going before this all shut down, and some of the teams have kept practicing on a limited basis. So probably 2 weeks isn't all that unrealistic.
Well, I was listening to some interviews through the University of Michigan. Kwity Paye was on this last week. Mm-hmm. They usually take a couple of players, and Kwity says, "Yeah, hey, we are ready to go. We could play tomorrow." Obviously, they would have to do a little bit different things in their practices. Mm-hmm. But they switched their practices to kind of like a combine style practice, and maybe getting a little bit more competition into the mix.
Well, I think you probably have to do that. Number one, it allows you to distance players on the field. It allows you to continue to work on physical skill development. Probably not as good for, the team aspect of play, the repetitions of the plays and, the defensive fronts and calls there. But, you do what you have to do, and it keeps the players engaged. I think competing amongst your teammates makes you feel like, okay, we're trying to accomplish something here. And, it sounds like, the competition has created some stories. One of the things I read, it sounded like Joe Milton was going to be the guy.
Yeah, he's
at quarterback.
He's impressed.
Yeah, and that the backup job was kind of a battle between, I know I'm going to forget the one guy's name, but Dylan McCaffrey and – I want to say J.J. McCarthy, but he's still in high school.
Next year.
Another highly touted freshman, or would have been a freshman last year. So, I can't think of his name.
I can't bring it up either.
Yeah. So, but it sounded like from the reports you read that Joe Milton had kind of won the quarterback battle, and
I understand he has a rocket arm.
Yes,
which means that we're probably going to see a little more passing out of the Michigan offense.
Definitely could. I think it was kind of heading that way last year with the whole speed and space, and by the end of the year, the Michigan offense was a lot better than it was early in the season for a variety of reasons. I think anytime you put a new system in like that, it's going to take time, and it's going to take game time to sharpen that up. And we certainly saw that with Michigan last year. They were not sharp the first few games. McCaffrey was, or not McCaffrey, Shea Patterson was banged up a little bit early on.
That first game,
he
hurt, but nobody knew it.
Yeah. And so I think that set them back. But by the end of the year, other than maybe the Ohio State game, and even in the Ohio State game, they put points on the board. They couldn't stop Ohio State. And, so offensively, I think they were in pretty good shape by the end of the season.
Well, we'll have to wait and see as it looks more and more like we're going to see spring football, which is going to be weird.
Yeah, but, it really will. Maybe January football has been an option that's kicked around too. And, there's certainly, they've talked about using dome stadiums to play, and, practice wouldn't be an issue. They all have indoor facilities. They're as big as a football field. I mean, bigger. And, so everybody would be able to practice indoors. So it's not like they'd be practicing outside in the bitter cold of winter. You really, I suppose, you almost could play a game in those facilities. There wouldn't be really great spots for media coverage, and you certainly wouldn't be able to fit any fans in, but certainly the surface is big enough to play a game.
Absolutely. We do have a game tonight on Navy taking on BYU.
Yeah,
which,
so that should be a decent game. Yeah.
BYU favored by a point. So a very, very competitive ball game there. I'm sure it's going to be. That'll be an 8 o'clock start tonight. Let's see what I don't see what network that is on. ESPN.
ESPN. So okay.
So
which
at least we'll have some football to
there
watch.
You go.
There might be some pretty good. Navy's had some pretty good teams.
Sure. Certainly BYU's been competitive over the years.
I was going to bring up, the game that Michigan had with Army last year, which they almost lost.
They did.
And I see that Army won their first game 42-0 over Middle Tennessee.
So that was the first two teams that Michigan played last year.
Exactly.
Middle Tennessee State and Army.
And both teams did pretty well.
Both teams did pretty well against Michigan. And, Army looked that was the one game I did see this weekend. And they certainly have the triple option offense going early in the season. They look tough. And, they were tough last year. And gave Michigan everything they could handle before Michigan was able to overcome them in overtime.
Well, we've got a pretty good matchup coming up this coming Thursday, the 10th, as UAB and Miami of Florida kick it off.
Yeah.
And just looking through next week's contest, we got Syracuse, North Carolina. Let's see, Baylor and Louisiana Tech.
And that North Carolina, there are a lot of people that think they're going to be the ones that challenge Clemson for the ACC.
Mac Davis down there.
It's got a great recruiting classes coming in all of a sudden there at North Carolina, and they think they're going to be one of the challengers.
Duke taking on number 10 Notre Dame.
Should be a decent game.
At South Bend, that should be a decent game. Georgia Tech and Florida State should be a decent game.
Yeah.
And let's see, as I move down here, we got Oklahoma versus Missouri State. Oklahoma ranked number 5. Clemson and Wake Forest. Clemson, of course, preseason number 1. And Oklahoma State ranks 16th, plays Tulsa. And number 14, Texas, takes on UTEP. So some pretty good games next week.
Decent. They're getting there. A lot of them are those non-conference games, although it sounds like the ACC games are a lot of conference games to get, Syracuse, North Carolina, is a conference game.
Well, they had to realign everything.
Yeah, Duke
course,
Notre
after-
Dame is a conference
after
game
the-
this year with Notre Dame playing in the ACC.
Yep.
So a few conference games there to get things started.
Of
And
course, Western Michigan was scheduled to play Notre Dame.
they were.
The first game, a
Mhm.
$1.1 million payout, but,
Yeah.
which I'm sure they could have used. But
No question.
That's all for naught now because the MAC canceled their season.
Yeah, it's really not until week 3 when all those teams start playing.
Mhm.
You start to get some more of the bigger, the ACC and
Georgia
Big 12
Tech and
Yep.
UCF playing. Let's see, Clemson and Citadel. That's not going to be much of a ball game there, I'm sure. But who knows?
Trying to find when the SEC starts playing. Oh, there they are. Okay, so September 26th. So really week 4 of the season is when the SEC starts playing.
Kentucky, Auburn,
Yep.
Oklahoma, Kansas State,
Alabama, Missouri.
LSU, Mississippi
Yep.
State.
Tennessee, South Carolina. So some good games,
Yeah.
as we go along. It's not what we're used to as college football fans, that's for sure. And, we know that here locally as well. We won't see
we
Siena Heights play this fall, and I know Adrian College is hoping to play this fall, but
Last I heard, they had 3 games looking. for a
3
fourth.
games looking for a 4th, and so maybe we'll get a few games at the collegiate level in here in the county this fall. We shall see.
It should be interesting, and it's nice to have football back. Whether we're seeing half in the fall, half in the spring. Hey, it's
Little
better
bit
than
of
nothing.
little bit of breaking news here, Pat. The
Yeah.
NFL.
Okay.
The Miami Dolphins have named their Week 1 starting quarterback,
And
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well,
So
good.
if you're a Tua fan and we're looking forward to him being the starter in Week 1,
Too bad.
You're disappointed. But it's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick in Week 1 here.
all right, breaking sports news right here on 96.5 The Cave. John, that's about going to wrap it up for us today
is.
on this Labor Day, and sure had fun.
Yeah,
being
it's
in
good
here.
times.
Sitting in for Jeff Bowman this morning, and of course, a lot more sports coming up here on 96.5 The Cave. Don't forget, we'll have high school football starting on the 18th.
Yep.
The Lions will be starting this coming Sunday.
Sunday, right here.
So plenty of sports coming up here, plenty for us to talk about. We'll have other things that are coming up that you'll want to hear about here on The Cave. John, good to see you.
Good to see
Have
you.
a
You
great
and
Labor
John
Day.
are back tomorrow.
Well, the odd couple back tomorrow.
Back on Tuesday.
All right, we'll see you then.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Hi, this is Dennis from Abbey Carpet and Floor, and it's easier than ever to tap into the convenience of smart home technology during the Hunter Douglas Smart Shade Savings Event that's going on now through September 7th. Enjoy valuable rebates starting at $150 on qualifying purchases of Hunter Douglas motorized shades like insulating duet honeycomb shades or dramatic pirouette window shades or the revolutionary Sonnet cellular roller shades, all equipped with the advanced wireless technology of PowerView motorization. Using this smart technology, the associated smart hub, and the mobile devices you use every day, you can easily program your motorized shades to move automatically to the scenes and schedules you set. Plus, PowerView integrates easily with some of the most popular home automation systems, intelligent shades, and smart savings. Connect with rebates now through September 7th. Limitations and restrictions apply, so ask us for details. Abbey Carpet and Floor, America's choice in floor fashion since 1958.
Are your floors screaming for a makeover? If so, O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering in Tecumseh, with their combined 160 years of experience, wants to help. O'Connor & Sons sell and install many styles of floor covering. They have the area's largest selection of luxury vinyl tile and planks, which are completely waterproof. O'Connor & Sons also carries Cali Bamboo, which are the world's hardest floors. Pet problems? No worries. They have pet-proof carpet that is guaranteed against all pet stains. O'Connor & Sons Floor Covering on Russell Road in Tecumseh. Call them at 423-6170, or for more information, check them out on Facebook at O'Connor & Sons Flooring.
Hi, I'm Jim.
And I'm Lisa.
As the new owners of Noggle Heating and Cooling, we assure you that we are still your local Lennox dealer.
Don't just guess if you're getting the best. We know you'll feel comfortable in your home with a Lennox. A Lennox will make the air cooler, warmer, drier, cleaner, and better, with innovative systems that are exceptionally quiet and energy efficient.
Our crew has the expertise and resources to serve you in the best possible way.
Call 423-3121. We're ready to serve you at Noggle Heating and Cooling.
Is your asphalt driveway cracking? Does it need maintenance after years of wear and tear? This is Rocky from K&B Asphalt Paving and Seal Coating. We do seal coating, hot rubber crack filling, and unlike others, we also do our own striping, patching, and paving. We are your one-stop shop for all your driveway and parking lot needs. We have 25 years of expertise and are fully insured for commercial and residential work. Visit us online or call 264-2541 for more information. At K&B Asphalt, we pledge to keep our customers satisfied by providing expert service with quality materials at a competitive price.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Lenawee County, Michigan. Sports Talk Radio with a local angle on Inside the Cave. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 96.5 FM. We give opinions and analysis on what's happening in the world of sports. Interview area coaches and players. And get you ready to start your day.
Sweet, man.
Grab a flashlight, hiking boots, and a compass because it's time to go Inside the Cave. Weekday mornings 7 to 9 on 96.5 The Cave and 965thecave.com.